So let's go over what a zenithal highlight is. I know I talked about it. So you've got your top down, which from the bottom half should look really dark. I mean, there's some overlap that comes down, but from the top, it's a white model. Now, the reverse, or a bottom up zenithal highlight, it's kind of the same thing. Now, where can you use these? What is this going to be used for? If you're using regular colors, the bottom up can be used to emulate, or a light source, say like a lighted floor. Then the light's going to emanate from the bottom, and it's going to hit the exposed edges. And when you spray that, it's going to come across. So you can make it look like they're standing on a lit floor, or some sort of light source is coming from underneath. The same goes for a top down. So, and like I said, you don't have to go straight down. I did straight down just to give it some dramatic effect. You can come from the side, you can come from the front, any which way, but when you're doing zenithal, you keep it in one direction. So if you move the model, you need to move where you're going. And make sure that you keep the model at a steady pace. The easiest is top down, because you just spin it. So if you go from one side, you have to remember you have to follow that side. Because if you go over here, you're eventually just going to paint the whole model, and it's not going to give it the zenithal. That's a problem. If you're going for that zenithal look, you need to make sure you keep a fixed point. So think of it like this. Your light source is a fixed point. It's not going to move. So your airbrush should stay in the same fixed point. You can move the model. And like I said, that is why top down and bottom up are the easiest, because you're going straight up. This way or this way would also be easiest. When you start tilting the axis to where it's coming here, if you rotate this model at all, you have to make sure you go with it. So what I always do is I keep the model at a fixed point, even if I'm doing sideways. I just go back and forth and pass it. Light air pressure, that is the key. If you go too much, you get trigger happy, it's going to spray over, and it's going to look almost over dramatic. And if that's what you're going for, that's good. But if you just want that full-on zenithal, something to give it pop as far as an undercoat goes, fixed point. Top down and bottom up are usually the easiest. Now I've talked about that, we're going to go through here. Now I've already picked, based on TurboDork's images that they've put out there, which one my favorite is. However, I want you to pick. Laserface is another TurboDork Turbo Shift paint that they've done. Just a regular Turbo Shift paint. I don't mean to sound like that's an undersell, but it's just their typical. I think this is going to be better than Ground is Lava because of the transition here. You go from a dark red to almost a gold yellow. But these, because they are zenithal style color shifts or turbo shifts, these are my favorite. But as far as my favorite goes, is Prism Power. Because, yeah, I'm excited. I know what you're thinking. It's kind of unfair because this one's only getting one. And I'm just putting this one in the video to get it knocked out. I was going to do 4D glasses, but I've already done that one. And so we're just going to push that one to the side. If you want to see that video, you can comment down below. I'll try and put a link up here, a quick link, so you can click on it and watch it. But we're going to start off with Laserface. We're going to go ahead and get that one done so that you can see what it looks like. And then we're going to move on to my favorites. So yeah, let's jump right in. So my first impressions, we'll start with Laserface. I like this color a lot more than I thought I would. This is definitely a better, not Ground is Lava. There's another color that TurboDork makes that it was good, but this just shifts a little bit better. you can really see, let me see if I can brighten this up a little bit. You can see the color shifting happening really well. And this light, this makes a big difference because it has 3 different areas where the light is coming from. You can really see the shifting happen quite a bit. This is a really solid color. I'm actually going to use this a lot more than I thought I would. It's just, I don't know, it just really screams epic dark color. So let's start off with these two. Now we have Twin Suns and Prism Power. According to the pictures, Twin Suns was going to be my least favorite and Prism Power was going to be my most. However, I think it kind of is the other way around, and I'll show you why. We'll start with Twin Suns. So from left to right, you have black base coat, white base coat, white zenithal top down, and black zenithal top down. So white zenithal bottom up. Looking at the black base coat, you get a subtle shift from the green to blue. Nothing, you know, nothing over the top, but this is a nice little solid shifting color. Nothing major, you know, just subtle hints, and that kind of makes it work. On a white undercoat, you get this solid, almost Thousand Suns blue, metallic blue. It's borderline pastel. So if we look at Meguro, which is on the left, which is their pastel blue, and Twin Suns blue, it's a little darker, but it is on that pastel hue. So if you did a white but wanted a darker blue than the Meguro, you could totally do Twin Suns blue. And it'll give it a subtle shifting effect, but it's a little bit darker. And it's still kind of got that pastel hue. Now we move on to your top-down zenithal. And this is where these colors really start to pop. So again, you saw before, all I did was just hit it with a top-down white zenithal top coat, and that was it. And sprayed the whole entire model with Twin Suns. And man, does this make a difference. Now, I'm not as big a fan of the top-down on this one. I think it might be too light a blue. But when you get into the bottom down, it really makes it pop. But this is what it is going to look like with a solid top down. You get that nice transition into the 2 different colors in one bottle. They're wildly different colors too, which is something that's really insane that Turbo Dork can do. But yeah, now let's get to my favorite one. This is your bottom up. This gives you a crazy, crazy shift. It almost looks like 2 different models. But man, does this give it some sort of like magical, mystical hue. So if you wanted your minis to have a battle presence, these colors, I have a feeling are really gonna, they're really gonna do it. Because holy crap, is this amazing. Again, bottom, top. 2 different models, 100%. Now you're going to get this drastic look with regular colors too, but it's not going to be as over the top as what this is. Now Prism Power, it looks good. Do not get me wrong. I love this color. I love their blues that this company makes. They do an amazing job, and it does have some shifting properties. It's not as prevalent as other colors. And I was wondering how they would do this. You know, you've got colors similar to this in this range that have a similar color hue. And I was afraid that you were just going to have 2 colors that would overlook each other, you know, and overshadow each other. But in all honesty, this is a really solid blue. And like I said, there are some, you know, subtle transitions in there as far as the shifting goes. And here's what this color looks like over white. It's almost like Bubblegum Crisis, which is another color that they make. But this is a nice little vibrant pink. This also kind of looks like a mixture between Taro and Sakura. Very similar color tones. It is a very pastel-y pink. Again, it's probably going to be a little bit darker than Sakura is on its own, but it is solid. And you can kind of see some blue in there, you know, subtle shifting, nothing major. It really pops out when you get it past light. So you can really see some subtle shifting, and when there's no direct light on it, it really pops out too. Now to my favorite ones. So you have your top-down zenithal, and that transition is epic. So again, from the bottom up, blue. From the top down, it's that bubblegum pink, and it just transitions into it absolutely perfectly. And for my final one, again, I think the bottom up with these colors is the way to go. It almost gives it like this, you know, iridescent, ominous glow from underneath. So if you look at this, top down, you got that good, solid metallic blue, and then it transitions into that pink. And man, I did not think blue and pink would be a really good color combo together, but it just sells. It gives this a almost orange glow coming from underneath, and it really makes this whole look pop. Yeah, these are really freaking solid. And if you haven't already, I would suggest checking out Turbo Dork Paints. I've done multiple videos on their paints that they've sent me over the past couple of years, and I'm constantly surprised with how they are. If you want to check them out, go to turbodork.com. Right there, use code NSAB10. We'll get you 10% off your first order of Turbo Dork paints. So if you want to try them out, go give them a shot. These are solid paints. They have done no wrong, and yeah, they're amazing. But that's all I've got, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.